Needless to say, the Clintons have been getting under my skin recently. It started about a year ago when Hillary took, I think it was about $400,000 to give 2 speeches at Goldman Sachs. And let's call that what it was. It's just a legal bribe. So that if/when Hillary runs for president and if/when she gets elected, she will do the bidding of the people at Goldman Sachs and other Wall Street billionaires. So then we did this story recently where Chelsea Clinton did about 9 reports for NBC, and she got paid $600,000 to do it. Now, that's another example of a legal bribe. Of course, they're hoping that if/when Hillary runs for president, she makes the announcement on NBC or pays them back in some way or another. And it's the worst kind of nepotism also. I mean, Chelsea Clinton didn't earn that position. There's a lot of people, who are, fantastic reporters who were snubbed to give a Clinton a job. It's just not fair. And then yesterday, we did the story how Hillary Clinton said that the Bible is the book that most influenced her. That's fucking unbelievable, man, because it's just pure pandering. Pure pandering. Nobody actually believes that that's the book that most influenced you, and if it is, stop it. You're being a clown, because that's sad. That's really sad if the Bible most influenced you. I mean, because there's some good stuff in there, be kind to everybody, take care of the downtrodden, the sick, and the poor. But there's slavery in there. They're against, interracial relationships. They're in favor of marrying their daughters off to their rapists. I mean, just a whole bunch of genocide. So it's just a silly book to pick. And it's so sleazy and disingenuous. You're being a typical politician and saying what you think people want to hear. So those are just some of the reasons why I've been angry at the Clintons lately, specifically Hillary. And, I mean, just the basic fact that she's a sellout pro-Wall Street corporatist Democrat. She's a center-right Democrat. She's going to be a third term of Obama if she gets elected. Well, today we get this news from Bloomberg and the Daily Beast. Quote, "The Clintons appear to have a do-as-I-say, not-as-I-do approach on taxes. Bloomberg uncovered that the Clintons have employed a variety of financial strategies that help shield multimillionaires from the estate tax they support. Bill and Hillary created resident trusts in 2010 and have saved hundreds of thousands in taxes by shifting their New York home into them. The Clintons split their home into 50 shares and placed them into trusts. As a result, they can assume discounted housing values for tax purposes, and any increase in the house's value will occur outside of their estate." So, just to put that in layman's terms, they're exploiting tax loopholes in order to not pay their fair share. Now, to be clear, what they're doing is totally legal, but is it a sleazy tax trick that's more fitting of a person like Mitt Romney and not the Clintons? Yes. And is it hypocritical for them to sit there and say that, oh, we support making the tax system better and more fair and eliminating loopholes and we want to tax the rich more? Yes, it's totally hypocritical. It's certainly hypocritical for them to say, oh, yeah, let's fix this system and make the rich pay more. And then at the same time they're doing that, they're exploiting the loopholes. Look, here's the thing. People are always going to fall back on the legality part of this argument to defend them and say, look, it's totally legal. But that's not the point. The point is they could have, if they wanted to, not exploited those sleazy loopholes, but they did. And they did it to save money, and they did it to try to escape a tax that they support, the estate tax. And it's fucked up, man. And it's just another example of how these people, they're not principled. The Clintons are not principled. Again, they are corporatist, center-right Democrats. They represent the establishment. They represent Wall Street. They're not of the mold of an FDR. Okay, they're not of the mold of somebody who will do a New Deal, who will end American imperialism, who will, increase the social safety net and do right by the people. No, they're typical politicians. They're the epitome of the modern-day Democrat, and they're doing a Mitt Romney move here. We went after Mitt Romney like crazy. Why? Because he was paying the capital gains rate for the money that he made. So he made all of his money from investments. He would pay about a 14% or 15% tax rate on money that he made between like $15,000 and $15,000 15,000, yeah, right. 15 million or $25 million a year he would make in that ballpark every year from his investments. And he would pay like 15% in taxes. And we attacked him. Why? Because while you're doing that, there's some construction worker making 70 grand paying 20% in taxes. Middle-class people who actually work for a living and get up in the morning and put in the hours and labor, they're paying a higher tax rate than your ass, and you're sitting on your couch while your money makes money. That's fucked up. That's a regressive tax system. Well, the Clintons are exploiting the same kind of loopholes to get out of paying their fair share, all the while barking about how they think people should pay their fair share. It doesn't make any sense, man. You're acting in a way that doesn't coincide with your supposed values and with your supposed principles, and that's not fair, and that's not right. And people should definitely weigh this in mind when they're considering voting in the primary. You know, when it comes down to voting for Elizabeth Warren or Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders or whoever the fuck happens to be running. I'm not going to go ahead and sit here and tell you I know that all these people are running, although there's evidence pointing in different directions. But weigh this in mind, man. You should go for the more progressive option because it appears like every day it's proving more and more to be true that the Clintons are all talk, but they're also very pro-establishment, and they're more in it for them and the narcissism and grandiose feeling of being a leader, and they're less in it for the people. If you want to talk about somebody actually representing the people, it's more Elizabeth Warren and people who think like her.